What's up, everybody? Roger and James here from the DisKingdom Podcast. In this episode, we're going to be talking about E3, which is coming out at the beginning of June. We're going to be running through some of our predictions from the Disney side of things, and we might also just throw in some other bits and pieces from other games as well, because while we're here. But so, obviously E3, big thing, lots of big stuff. Already announced, we know that Square Enix are making a presentation, and Kingdom Hearts 3 will be part of that presentation. So we know Kingdom Hearts 3 is going to probably have a new trailer, maybe a release. There's probably going to be a lot more coming out on E3. So that we know that that's going to be part of it. We also know that Spider-Man is going to be a major part of the PlayStation 4 presentation, which was announced last week. So we know at least that we've got two games that have already been sort of sent out to, and I mean, Spider-Man is a big game both games are massive for each of them. But it's that kind of thing of anything else you think we're going to see on these two?
In terms of Square Enix, there is an outside chance, maybe better than outside chance, that we'll get some details on the Avengers game. You know, we've had a teaser trailer for it. I think it maybe was either last year's E3. It might have even been two E3s ago. And we haven't heard anything since. And with Infinity War in theaters right now, it'll still be in theaters more than likely by the time E3 hits, simply because it's such a blockbuster movie. It would not surprise me if at least drop some character designs, who's going to be in it.
A little trailer.
A little trailer, even if it's only an expansion of the original teaser. Yeah. They've got to strike while the iron's hot, and Avengers is the hottest it's ever going to be.
He just had Thanos there with his glove, and that'll completely please everyone.
Honestly, I'd be fine with that, to be honest.
I know they're working on other. They've got other titles in there. I think there's they've got quite a few titles on the line from Square Enix. So it wouldn't surprise me. I think they're just going to go with the Avengers first, because they're apparently maybe doing a Guardians of the Galaxy game as well.
I think, we'd mentioned that rumor previously. I would not expect to see anything about that. It'd be great if we did, though.
Yeah. So I think Square Enix is definitely going to be, between Kingdom Hearts 3 and Avengers, that'll be their push from them too.
But let's stick on Guardians of the Galaxy here, too. And I'm just kind of pulling this completely out of the air here. There's no basis to this except thinking about it. Do we think that Telltale might come back and say either a Guardians of the Galaxy 2 Telltale adventure or a different Marvel property, maybe a Captain Marvel property or an Ant-Man and the Wasp? Actually, Ant-Man and the Wasp. And I'm totally spitballing. I didn't think about this in advance. This has only just occurred to me.
Personally, previously they announced Guardians of the Galaxy in the middle of the winter at a PSX or something like that. I don't think they're going to do anything at... I think there will be some more Marvel ones coming down the line, because I think they've probably done a multi-game deal. I'm wondering whether or not they are doing some serious rework on the actual jig and moving things around a bit, because they've been getting a lot of stick from the community and from people now of their engine needs a upgrade, and I'm wondering if they might need to be right, we need to spend some money sorting this out rather than just keep churning out episode after episode. Because I think was the Batman one was only out recently.
Right. They did have the second season of Batman, which was very well received. I haven't played it yet. I'm waiting for I'm probably going to play through the first season and the second season all in kind of a back-to-back kind of thing. But yeah, they've definitely cut back on their production quite a bit. We do know that there's a sequel to the Fables game, which was actually a very good game. The Wolf Within, I think the original was called. And not much else. We don't have any more Walking Dead game that we know of, and that's basically their flagship franchise. And yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if they did go back to the drawing board, because I remember my review for Guardians of the Galaxy, both here and on CoinOp, and then also for Walking Dead Season 3, was this engine is showing its age. This engine has problems, and I'm not the only one saying it. So I think, and also, Life is Strange, a Square Enix game, has been doing the same deal that they had. They had Life is Strange, and then they had Before the Storm last year. And those games got very good reviews, and I think that was kind of Telltale waking up and realizing we're not the only ones in this market anymore. Yeah. We need to step up our game. So in theory, hopefully, if they do have another Marvel title in the works, whether it's Guardians 2 or something else entirely, maybe that will be the game that they launch their new system on, assuming that this is what they're doing.
I mean, keeping on the Marvel front, I don't think we're going to see anything from Telltale. I'm not expecting anything from Capcom. I think Capcom versus Marvel is dead in the water. The last game is just all the second season DLC, all of that lot. I think that's all been canned. And I think if we are going to get another Marvel fighting game, it might be another year or two away. I think this one needs to kind of creep off out the way because, I mean, literally none of the tournaments are playing it. The DLC's all just stopped. They've gone quiet. So I'm not expecting anything from the Capcom side of things, from like a fighting side of thing.
Right, and I gave that game actually a pretty good review when it came out, and I still stand behind that. But I can also totally see why that game has kind of just faded away. They completely borked it up. They were very tone deaf to the audience when complaints were raised, not just about the X-Men not being present, which is one I love to bring up and pick on them for, but just in general, the systems that they were using, the combat styles, and it just never picked up. So yeah, I think that as far as Marvel vs. Capcom is concerned, is probably done. And as we've talked about, I have no problem with that at all. I would much prefer a straight-up Marvel game to a Marvel versus blank game.
Yeah, I mean, as far as other stuff from like Marvel, I'm kind of thinking, I just feel like Spider-Man is just going to, between Spider-Man and the Avengers, you got two AA or AAA games. I just don't think I don't think it's a good idea for them to kind of throw out any much more on that, because Spider-Man is going to be the big game for the year, and you don't want to be chucking too much out at that.
Yeah, but they do need to be giving us details. So it's very important that Sony comes out into this press conference, whatever they announce about Spider-Man, that they do it properly. Because
it's only
been
about
hearing,
3 months out now, so...
Yeah, they're only 3 months out, and we don't know much about this game. And the things that we've seen so far have been heavily pre-scripted. So there are rumblings, there are people in the community who are concerned about this game, particularly in terms of like how long the game is going to be, and how heavy it's going to be on the QuickTime events. And I think Sony needs to come out at this event and really address those. And if they don't address those, that's going to be worrying.
There's always that thing as well sometimes with story modes of, just because it's 20 hours, I'd rather take an 8-hour one that's good than a 20-hour which is boring. So, longevity of a story of a single player campaign doesn't have to be long to be good, but it still has to be better than Battlefront 2.
It needs to be engaging.
Yes, that's the main thing. So I think we're going to put Marvel on the side now. I'm going to just jump a little bit back into the Kingdom Hearts thing. I'm expecting a new world to be revealed.
Right, I agree.
And I think a release date. I think we're going to get. I think they're going to have, because we're talking now. Pre-orders are going to have to be, if they want to get this out this winter. They're all going to want some pre-orders. The game has got to be nearly done. There's no more big events really for this. It's not like if we had D23, I'd be like they might hold on to it and have that weekend to themselves, but they haven't got D23 this year. So yeah, I'm thinking we're going to get a proper release date. I think this game is pretty much ready to roll. I think they're ready for it, and I would expect this to be a major winter game. I don't know when it's going to be coming out. I personally would like December being personally. That's not to say I wouldn't like it out next week, because I would. But looking at the competition of Spider-Man in September, Red Dead Redemption in October or November now, I can't remember. And then you're going to have the whole flood of third-party titles. So I think December, maybe beginning of December for a Christmas run would be, I think, a good little tie-up.
I think November would be my guess. Early to mid-November, because here in the States at least, that puts it right before Thanksgiving, which also means that it's right before Black Friday. And I suspect that Square and Sony and all these guys, well, and Microsoft as well, they really want that Black Friday press to be coming out. So my guess is November. Would not surprise me if it was December. But whatever day it is, they need to announce the date. And yeah, the jokes are tired, and yeah, they've actually only technically ever been delayed once. But yeah, I'm still going to rip into them. People have been waiting 15 years for this game. Doesn't matter how many times it's been delayed. We've known the game was going to be around since the PlayStation 2.
Yeah.
It missed an entire generation. And
if it goes on much longer, it'll miss the next.
At this point, it practically will. And it just needs to come out. Otherwise, it's going to be the next Duke Nukem, and we saw how well that ended up.
Yeah.
So
okay, so we're going to put Kingdom Hearts on the side. Carry on with the Disney front. We've got Lego Incredibles coming out literally the week of around that time. I think it'll be on there to play for people that are going to it. I don't think we're going to see too much from it. Again, I'm just salty because it comes out a month later for us over here, because 3 weeks later, so that's my little issue. So anything else you think on that front?
In terms of, like, say, the Incredibles or Disney specific properties, probably not. It would be nice, though. You know, we've mentioned this one in the past. You know, the Disney Afternoon Collection was a great little thing. We might see that be announced for the Switch.
Yeah, I think that's coming.
That's probably in the works. We've seen Capcom has been working with Nintendo to get titles. They've got the Mega Man collections. They've got the Street Fighter collection,
which I'm buying.
I'm not because I don't like Mega Man. It's just because I'm neck deep in God of War, and then I'm already. As soon as I'm done with God of War, I'm going to be jumping into another game that I already own. I don't know which one yet, but you know, Mega Man's low priority for me. But it's coming out. They've got the Street Fighter collection coming out. So Capcom is definitely working with Nintendo. It baffles me that the Disney Afternoon collection isn't out on Switch already. It's perfect for that system. What I would like, in addition to an announcement about that, would be, you know, if they took some of their current Disney XD properties or their animation, probably including the current DuckTales, and they said, all right, they're not going to be like massive games, but we're going to follow the style of the Disney Afternoon Collection. We're going to have some old school platformers, but we're going to do them with the current characters. We're going to do it with the current art style. Maybe we'll even throw in some of the other shows that are on, which I don't know what they are, but I'm sure that they would work in much the same way. And maybe even since they're riding the nostalgia train right now, maybe something new with some of the other Disney Afternoon. Because I was at the parks very recently. We had the conversation about that. One thing I forgot to mention: Disney Afternoon stuff, classic Disney Afternoon stuff from the '90s, is showing up in the parks. I got 2 great pins.
I literally have the Rescue Rangers mug I picked up off the Disney store, sat in a box ready to go into the kitchen because I literally just had it delivered. I think generally, I wouldn't be at all surprised if we see some little things like that from Capcom. I just feel at the minute Disney is just missing that opportunity of. I mean, obviously Kingdom Hearts and Incredibles means they have got 2 Disney titles out, but there's a massive scope. We are now far enough away from E3 or from like Disney Infinity that stuff must be worked on. Whether or not it gets announced, because that's the biggest problem now with E3 being drowned out, and that's the problem. It's actually getting to the point now where I'm not expecting a huge amount each year because they'll get drowned out, and especially a Disney title. Disney titles will not perform very well in terms of press, in terms of getting mainstream news, because something else will just knock it straight off the page.
Yeah,
except
and
for DisKingdom.
that's definitely true. Yeah, and the major press conferences: Sony, Microsoft, Nintendo, and then even the Square Enix one, Kingdom Hearts, and hypothetically the Avengers game are really just going to be 1 or 2 titles out of probably 6 or more. We're probably going to see something. Shadow of the Tomb Raider is almost certainly going to have a big presence. That's a heavily hyped game. That's just one more title in their list. We're going to Ubisoft and EA and Activision, they've got their own games to talk about in addition to anything they're working on for Disney. So, yeah, E3 is a great time to announce games, but it's not a great time to give details about games because they're just going to disappear into the wind.
Yeah, there's going to be so much competition. So I don't think we're going to see anything else from Disney. I think we've got 2 titles out. That's going to be the focus. And I feel like if Disney are going to announce a new game, they would be better off just like announcing it tomorrow on a random Tuesday, and it would get more attention than if E3 is just too crowded. And
honestly, that wouldn't surprise me. We've seen that happen in previous years where E3 will start on X date, and then 3 days before E3 will come out, Nintendo will be like, "Oh hey, Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze coming to Switch," and like, wait, but E3 is 3 days. Yeah, but we wanted to let you know now.
Yeah, because they've got to stretch it out.
Yeah.
Jumping now to Star Wars side. We got the Han Solo season starting in Battlefront, literally in a couple of weeks. So it'll be probably wherever they might be on the EA stage and show a little bit of maybe a 3rd season and give us a few updates on that, because it's still. I don't think they're going to get any news on these other games because I think they're all in turmoil. I think Star Wars as a video game franchise at this precise minute feels like it is. It feels like it's slipping. I don't know. EA just feel like. It's like oozing out between their fingers at the minute. That license is just literally waiting to end, because I don't think they're going to get the games out literally by the end of by their 10-year deal. They've been cancelling them so much.
I think they're going to come out and they're going to pat themselves on the back for, hey, we listened to the community and we got rid of the loot boxes and we're going to completely ignore the fact of how awful that entire situation was. They'll probably come out and then they'll advertise the Han Solo season. They'll advertise, we've got another several blankety-blank seasons in planning. I don't think we'll find out what the themes of any of those seasons are, but they'll confirm we have season plans. We're going to add more customization options. Maybe on the outside, they'll announce a new set of heroes that you can play, that you can join in, and hopefully are free. But other than that, they might have something for the Old Republic, because that has an expansion that's been announced, and they might name drop it. They might throw it in. Hey, we have this other Star Wars game still going strong, relatively strong, and Disney hasn't pulled the plug yet, despite the fact that it's not in canon. But outside of that, I mean, unless they pull something like huge that they have a surprise on, I don't know.
I mean, at previous events, they've been, they brought, like, Amy would come out and then she'd talk about this game that they were working on. Well, that one's been cancelled and it's been reshuffled. Right. And then Respawn are working on something. I don't think it's the right time for them to come out and be like, I don't know, it was just in that lull, and I think this is why I think once EA loses this license, we're going to start seeing a stream of Star Wars titles coming through from different companies, because they got to be getting close to not hitting the targets because of not getting these games. It just feels, I mean, we've said it as well. Lego's Last Jedi, where is that? I would have said for certain it would have been this summer, but we're getting the Incredibles. I don't think we're getting the Last Jedi game. I just don't, unless we're getting. They could surprise us with a Lego Star Wars title for the winter, but we know that the leaks have said that there's going to be a DC villain one, so that means I don't think we're going to get a Star Wars one.
Yeah, it would not surprise me in the slightest if the next proper Lego Star Wars game we got actually came after Episode 9, and they just do a full Episode 7, 8, 9 trilogy with some special missions for Rogue One and Han Solo. Yeah, just skip over Last Jedi. I mean, it was a very controversial movie, as we've talked about in the past, and maybe they were just kind of like, maybe we should just roll these all up into one. 7, 8, 9 together.
I'm surprised we never got the Rogue One. I'm really surprised we haven't got a Solo one either, because it kind of feels like that would have been like a natural fit, but I don't know. Just as a general, the way that EA are with Star Wars, I just don't think we're going to see much. I think
best case scenario for EA is we get a Battlefront spin-off title, something that uses the Frostbite engine, maybe an X-Wing style game, maybe a land-based game, something like that, something where they can use the assets they already have and throw together a quick game. It would probably be Another 5 to 6 hour single player campaign kind of thing, but they'll charge us a full price for it anyway. Or alternatively, we'll find out that they're going to introduce a battle royale mode to, and
Yeah.
I'm saying that jokingly, but I
don't think it is a bounty hunter mode. There we go.
They could do it. It's the popular thing. Even Call of Duty is doing it right now. So
yeah, I mean, I think it wouldn't surprise me if we did get a battle royale mode. I think that would be kind of cool. It'd be interesting to see how they do it. Fun. I'd play it. I just feel EA are just too much down in the life cycle of this live service. They're edging all their bets on this kind of constant momentum of money coming in through microtransactions and seasons and stuff. They are moving away from the other type of games. And so that's it. The only other thing I did wonder of whether or not they're looking at, I mean, it's like the Old Republic. That either has to go to let something else let it replace it, something that can be console and across everything, or I have apparently, you've been hearing lots of reports of they've been moving all the team off of the Old Republic and moving them onto Anthem. So there's not a lot of people working on the Old Republic anymore.
No, and I actually was just talking to another Star Wars fan earlier this week about it, and how the Old Republic is probably not too much longer for this world. Not because the fans don't enjoy it. It does have its fan base. It is making money consistently, although not massive amounts of it. But the team does keep getting stripped off, and it does have an expansion coming out, but that's probably going to be the last one. The fact that it's and the fact that it's not canon means that we really don't have any reason to really get into it all that much anymore. Yeah.
But it's an old engine. It's just, and it's on PC, and that's not really where the market is.
No, and they'll want to build something from the ground up. It would amaze me if they weren't working on a replacement for it that is built for the consoles. Yes, it'll be on PC as well, but something that will work with the Xbox One and the PlayStation 4 environment. I'm sure that Disney took notes on how Marvel Heroes did, and I hope I didn't do. I hope they took notes. I hope they passed those notes along to EA. I hope that they've got information regarding that. I would love a new MMO, a new one set in the current canon, maybe in the Resistance time frame, maybe somewhere in between Return of the Jedi and Force Awakens. But I mean, it's all speculation. We don't even have rumors to go on that.
I'm just looking forward to Capcom versus Star Wars. That's what I'm looking forward to. That should be fun.
I'm going to come to England. I'm just going to strangle you. Honestly,
you're going to Jar Jar Binks going up against Chung-Li, and that'll be good.
Actually, I might go for that.
But yeah, so that was kind of like, I think that's like the Disney kind of things. I think I kind of slide Pixar into it. Fox could show off maybe a little bit more of the Avatar game or the Alien game that they're working on. But again, I don't really expecting too much from that point of view. But yeah, so I think we're pretty safe with a few major. I'm not expecting any surprises. I'm going into this one. Yeah.
It wouldn't be a surprise if you were expecting it, right?
No, but then you look at all the leaks that went out on Walmart and stuff. It's just like there was nothing there jumping out that was like, there was nothing of any interest from the Disney side of things, and everything that else was there. I mean, I'm going to be honest. Splinter Cell for me. Where do I send my money? Because
if the Splinter Cell game from Ubisoft, either if it's a new entry into the franchise, which if you play Wildlands, and not many people did. They had Sam Fisher show up in that recently, and it seemed like it was a teaser for the next adventure. Yeah. So I'm totally down for that, because I loved Conviction, I loved Blacklist. I would also be down for remasters of both of those games. I love those ones. I do like the older Splinter Cells as well, and it might be heresy for the fans, but I do prefer the newer ones, the kind of aggressive combat style that they use for that. I'm totally down for that. I want new Splinter Cell.
There's going to be a very busy season. We like I said, we got Tomb Raider, Red Dead Redemption, Kingdom Hearts, Spider-Man. We've got Call of Duty Battle Royale, as it's going to probably be. We're going to get and we don't know what Nintendo. They've not played their cards yet either for the winter. Super Smash Brothers. That's going to be a big game. There's just a lot coming up in the future, and I think it's going to be great. I think it's going to be a great winter overall, and E3 is going to set up before Christmas. There'll be a few little teasers, but think we're good. I think we're good from the Disney point. I think we've got quite a few good top quality games coming.
And we'll definitely talk about them more as we find out more.
Yes.
I just remember last year at this time we were looking at 2017 rosters and going, I don't know how we're going to beat this in the future, because 2017 had some amazing games and a couple of letdowns. Obviously, we mentioned a couple of those, but man, the 2018 roster is just as strong, if not stronger, and it's a really good time to be a gamer. That's the second time I've said that in the podcast this week, and it's still true though. It's a very good time to be a gamer.
On that note, guys, let us know in the comments below what you think your E3 predictions are. We'd love to know your thoughts on them. Get in touch with us as well on social media. You can follow us, like us, subscribe on whichever platform you like, and you can go find us over at DisKingdom.com. James, where can they find you?
Find me heroiclegacy.com.
And on that, guys, thank you very much for joining us. We'll be back soon. Later.